Looking for amazing finds and incredible deals? Visit Erie City Mission Thrift today. From stylish clothes and shoes to quality furniture and home goods, you'll discover something new each time while changing lives right here in Erie. It's shopping that feels good and does good. Come see us in Erie and Girard. Erie City Mission Thrift. Thrift with a purpose.
All year round, Frontier Home Products and Design has what you need to make your home comfortable and beautiful. Relax on a new timber tech deck designed by Frontier's experts. A new fireplace from Frontier Home Products Fireplace Gallery adds warmth and serenity to any home. Beauty and versatility at Frontier Home Products and Design Center, 4213 Peachtree East 5th next to the Bayfront Highway.
Frontier Home Products and Design Center. Discover a new frontier.
PA contractor number PA039007.
Welcome to TalkErie.com's Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast. Every day, we tackle the biggest issues that the Erie PA region faces. Stay informed and involved as we advance the narrative of Erie. Now, here's Joel Natale.
We are having one of the largest crowds we've ever had here in the studio. Might be the largest, from the Erie Day School, future business leaders of America here. And let's bring in Janis Filbeck, again, the director of the program. And Janis, good to see you. Appreciate you being on with us.
Well, thank you so much for having us here.
Give us an introduction to the program here and what we're celebrating.
All right. This is part of our Future Business Leaders of America team. The Erie Day School team consists of 5th through 8th grade. And we had 25 students last year that joined FBLA. We take place in competitions. We do service projects. We have team building activities, and it's all about developing the future minds and hearts of these young people into the leaders that care about the community around them and develop themselves as leaders to make impact in the world. Future Business Leaders of America is the world's largest business, career, and technical student organization in the world. It helps over 230,000 middle, high school, and college students through competition, leadership, and technical training.
And there's a typical regional competition, then national competition, right?
So at the middle school level, the students can either take a test, or they can prepare a presentation, or in some cases, students prepare a presentation and take a test. They can work as individuals, they can work as teams, and for the state level competition, I send their videos into the state competition. They're done through video. And last year, of our 25 students, 22 of them placed in the top 10, and we had some first place winners.
Wow.
And some second place winners, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, we did really, really well because the students are very dedicated, they're hardworking, and they're a little competitive.
I believe so.
Strong work ethics.
All right. Well, why don't you lead the way of how we want to chat about this? And then from the state level, you went to the national in San Antonio, right?
In order to be invited to the National Leadership Conference, you have to finish in the top 10. So those that finish in the top four, are automatically invited. And then throughout the state, as people decide that they are going to go or they're not going to go, it trickles down. But you have to place in the top 10 at the state level in order to go to the National Leadership Conference. And the National Leadership Conference, we had over 13,000 competitors at the middle school and high school level.
And how many from Erie Day?
We sent a team of 19, although there were more that were eligible. And we had 4 teams that placed in the finalist and top 10.
All right, let's kind of try to organize this and put it in buckets. So let's talk about the teams that might be represented here. So,
all right, can I start over there with Ahmed and Ion? They finished 10th place in exploring website design, and so they took the stage. And but they. I'm going to brag on them for a minute because they worked really hard. All of the teams did. I can say that about everyone that's in this room. And they started these projects in November. Competition is at the end of February. And I'm so impressed because as sixth graders, they were revising and practicing and revising, and the parents worked with them. So they come from homes with strong parental support, and so they did really well. At the National Leadership Conference, we have everyone competes, and then they narrow each competition down, and there are 30 competitions, to a top 12. And so if you are in the top 12, which everyone's sitting at the table here, and Ahmed and Ion and Jake were in the top 12 as finalists, and then they narrowed that down to the top 10.
Wow. All right, let's talk about websites. I know a little bit about that. Did you know anything about it before you jumped in on that? You got to bring it right up close.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I probably was the last person to ever design a website.
Okay.
In fact, making this website was probably one of the first times I've ever actually used a computer. And I have to give credit to my teammate. He really helped me. He showed me some tricks. He showed me how to use the computer. He really, really helped me going into website design, because this was my first year. Ion here, this was his second year doing website design, but this was my first, and he really helped me a lot. So I need to give some credit to him, because he has helped me tremendously throughout this thing. But through website design, I did not actually know that much, and I didn't know actually the ethics behind it. I thought website design was really just making a website, coding and color schemes and whatnot. But I found out that there are actually ethics behind it, and there are actually ways to make it better and make it better for all people. So.
Ian, weigh in on this, because again, the concept of web. Tell me about the subject of the website, and again, key in on the ethics behind it. It's interesting. Yeah.
There's a lot of different elements of making a website, and one of the
what were you promoting with the website, I guess, is the question.
Viewer interaction and a museum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you actually what did you put in the website that would enhance that viewer interaction?
So we made a website for the Tom Ridge Center.
Okay.
Around the Presque Isle Peninsula. And we actually went over there. We showed them our website, and they said it was exceptional. They liked it a lot. We based our website mainly off of theirs, and we used the flaws they had on their website, and we enhanced them.
Okay. The idea to get more people involved.
Yes.
That's very cool. Who else was on their team, Janis?
Those two competed as a team.
Okay, that's tremendous. Wow. And that came in 10th place nationally?
Yes.
Congratulations, guys. That's
Thank you very
fantastic.
much.
All right, let's go to another bucket.
All right,
here.
I'm going to pay attention here to Jake. Jake is the first person from Erie Day School to finish as a finalist as a solo competitor, and he worked on exploring business ethics.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that, Jake. Go ahead and bring that mic right up to your mouth there.
So basically, what I had to do for my competition is that they gave me a scenario, and my scenario was this car company named Geo Motors, but they claimed to have the most eco-friendly car in the world. However, after investigation, it was found out the way that they manufactured the car was not eco-friendly. So I had to talk about what safeguards should be in place and how I would personally resolve that situation.
So tell me about the kind of research you had to do to kind of figure that out.
First, I researched, because this is my first year really doing anything researching ethics. I researched mainly the principles of ethics, what there's to know about ethics, and Jared over here, he let me borrow one of his books about ethics, so that really helped too.
Jared, tell me a little bit about your take on the ethics, because that's a pretty important part of this.
So about the actual topic, or just
and learning about ethics and so on. Yeah.
I think it's really important because it also teaches students to learn more about honesty and integrity, which are very important pillars that help shape a person to who they become when they grow up.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, when you dive into this element of ethics, does that give you hope that you could be a good businessman and an ethical and outstanding business person?
Oh, yeah, I would definitely say so.
Yeah. So how did Jake do?
Jake finished as a finalist at the national level. He was number 1 in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow. Congratulations, buddy. Are you thinking about maybe starting do a car startup, little Tesla 2.0 or whatever? Yeah, I mean, you never know, right? You never know. All right, I got time for, we'll introduce one more team here, then we'll dive into some of the
All right, so let me pass this over to Lila right now. Lila competed at the state level with 2 of her teammates, and at national she competed alone because her teammates could not attend. And she presented our national chapters activity, and then she was also in a team with Fiona, and it's escaping me, exploring
management and entrepreneurship.
Okay, so she competed twice.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that, Lila. Your approach.
Both events were a great opportunity for me. I would definitely say that the annual chapter activities was more difficult for me because I had amazing teammates who helped me compete at the state level, and they were very helpful. So it was hard to take a 3-person presentation and make it just for me. That was definitely hard. It was a lot of revision went into that, but I was not a part of FBLA last year, so I got to learn about everything our amazing chapter was able to accomplish, and I talked all the way from then all the way to now. So I got to learn a lot of information about our school, and I'm very proud of all of us, and it was a really good opportunity for me.
So tell me about the subject matter of what you worked on.
So they wanted to know exactly what we have done all the way through our chapter. So it was last year before the national conference. Last year I talked about that all the way up to the national conference of this year. So they wanted to know highlights about how we helped our community, how we worked as a team building activities, and how we prepared for the competition.
I mean, what would you call this, like a TED Talk, or kind of just standing there to share the story, huh?
Yes, tell the story of our chapter.
All right, this really segues into a question that I have that has kind of stuck with me in a year here is, how is it that you've been able to have 7th and 8th graders so articulate and poised in a stressful situation like in front of lots of strangers at a conference or here on the radio? Tell me about that.
I think it's multifaceted. First of all, I think they come from homes where parents want them to be well-spoken. They want them to be educated. They want to support them and make their world a bigger place than just, home and school. And then our school community really works to build community across the grade levels. It's a small school, but the kids that are in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade really lead the school. And I would put 5th graders in there too. So they have had practice from the time that they were toddlers, if they attended then, speaking in front of the school.
Yeah.
And being creative. Creativity is a huge part of our curriculum. And they rise to the challenge. They love to learn. We've got lifelong learners sitting in this room.
It just occurs to me, though, and anybody raise their hand, I want to get a comment from a young person. It occurs to me that the technology that we're using, these cell phones and so on, are one of the biggest hindrances to our ability to be able to communicate clearly and succinctly in person, in real life. Is this something where you're saying, I don't need to be on my phone right now or on my Switch because I'm going to learn something today? Anybody want to weigh in on that? Go ahead. Yeah.
I think on the topic of communication, cell phones are really not as much of a hindrance, but more of a empowerment, because when you text someone, you have time to formulate your thought, think about what you're saying, and if we had that in everyday communications, life would be a lot different. So I think this just teaches teens and even kids and still even adults like how to talk and how to be poised, how to articulate your sentences even in person-to-person conversation.
So you think the cell phone is not a hindrance so much?
I think it's not, because it teaches you how to articulate. Like when you draft an email, you have multiple chances.
Yeah.
When you talk person to person, you say it once and it's done.
Yeah.
And I think cell phones and devices are more of a learning ground on really knowing how to talk to people.
Okay. let's talk about another team, if you would, Janis.
All right. So we just heard from Lila. Lila and Fiona, why don't you talk about your competition, and then we'll go to Lauren.
Yes, we did Exploring Management and Entrepreneurship, which was very different, and it was very difficult for us because we were not able to prepare in the same way as the other teams. We were not given our subject right away. We were given practice subjects, and when we got in the room, they gave us our subject for the first time ever when we were right in there. It was more of like a role play, think on your feet sort of subject, so they gave it to us, and we had some time to prepare. I think it was about 15 minutes, and then we had to go in and present our idea to a judge that we had just previously learned about.
All right, so tell us a little bit about how you had to work on the fly for learning about the subject matter that you learned. Go ahead.
So we were given a certain amount of time with note cards to write down our thoughts, and we were given a scenario. With the scenario, we have to come up with pros and cons, alternatives, and a solution. I think that...
What was the actual subject? What were you working on? What was it?
Our subject was we had a customer and we had a clothing brand, and we had to find out a way to become more sustainable, as a customer complained that we weren't being sustainable enough in our clothing.
Gotcha. That's kind of cool. So what did you, again, this is within while you're in the room, right? You had to come up with your research or your arguments and things. Talk about that.
I think that this role play really helped us think, to be able to be quick on our feet, and to help with critical thinking, which is really good, because in the future, when we work, we have to be able to think of solutions quickly. If our boss, for example, tells us, how are you going to be able to do this? We have to be able to say and come up with a solution.
Absolutely. How many of the young folks have a parent that is in business, is a business person? So not everybody, right? Again, if they're a professional, more than likely they have a business. Or, if your parent is a doctor, they have to be a part of a business. If your parent is, a shop owner, obviously they're running a business. Does the idea of business excite you? Somebody weigh in on that. Go ahead, Lila.
It definitely excites me a lot more than it did before FBLA, because especially with the topic I did with Fiona, we got to learn so much about being a person in the business community. We got to learn about being a leader. And it was amazing because we got so many opportunities to help our community and give back. And we learned those fundamental ideas that's part of being a leader. And I think that now that we have all this knowledge about being a part of a business and starting a business, starting a website, dealing with customers and thinking on our feet, that's all great fundamental things that are going to help us in business down the line in the future.
Really being a leader means putting your neck out. You have to be ready for the challenges that come with business, and that seems to be where the whole competition lies. Is how are you gonna decipher these issues and make the correct decisions, doesn't it? Yeah.
And lead and communicate, and then also serve. So we spend a lot of time in service to our community and leading through servant leadership.
Let's talk about that. Who wants to talk about one of their favorite service deals? Go ahead, Lauren.
So when we think about service, we think about helping others and people in need in our community. And so Fiona was a great leader in that because she was organizing all of our community service. But one of my favorite things was in partnership with the Episcopal Church, we packed homeless lunches for the homeless. And we were able to work as a team to prepare sandwiches and snacks and put them into a bag to send them out to shelters. And so that was one of my highlights, because we learned also through Dean Melinda, who's the dean at the Cathedral of St. Paul. She talked to us a lot about the homeless population in Erie. And so we were able to learn about these people and their needs and what organizations are helping these people through what they're going through.
Do you? I mean, as you learned about these things, does that make you more hopeful for the community? Do you think, Lauren?
I think it makes me more hopeful, especially through educating people like us who have a real. Now we have a real sense of what's going on, and so that can help us in our impact in the community.
Somebody, I'm going to throw back here to Ahmad here. Oh, did you get it? Do you want to weigh in? Yeah. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah.
So the community service project that we presented at states and nationals. So the service project that we did was we were collecting winter items for the homeless population in Erie. So we collected hats, socks, and gloves, and we put them into different bins that we would eventually take to Community Shelter Services, which is a homeless shelter in Erie. And we put up all of these collection bins in different organizations. So in total, we partnered with 8 organizations who would help us by letting us put up donation bins in their business.
Would you say, and maybe you can weigh in on this, Ahmad, the idea of service and leadership goes hand in hand?
Oh, yes, definitely. Because I feel like if I'm talking in the business aspect, there's always a double side of things. Yeah. So in business, obviously, there are concepts, there's formulas, all these things that can help you succeed in your business. But also there's the ethics side. And I've really been talking about that side because I think that side is often neglected. Yeah. Often we see in today's world that many people cheat off each other, many people backbite. And even I want to touch bases on your topic of how you said, how did 7th graders achieve this?
From baggage claim to pajamas in 10 minutes. Erie International Airport. Fly with ERI.com.
Fly Erie International Airport to Charlotte on American Airlines, your nonstop gateway to the world. Also, we have Breeze Airways flying nonstop to Orlando and Tampa, Florida. A great low-cost carrier providing excellent service to the regional community. Fly Erie International for your travel needs.
Fly with ERI.com.
Get paid to drive. Start a new career behind the wheel at the EMTA. If you are looking for a high-paying and rewarding career with full benefits and paid training, stop by or apply online today with the EMTA. Plus, EMTA riders can now enjoy free Wi-Fi on new, clean, and environmentally friendly buses to travel all over Erie County. Visit ridethee.com for more information.
Get on board EMTA. Get on board EMTA.
At Quickfill, what matters most is that our customers, our communities, and our heroes are taken care of. We start by providing American-made gasoline, which means you can buy local, keeping America and your communities strong. We also support vital charities every year and hold Operation Give Thanks each November to help provide a better future for our veterans and their families. We're proud to support the communities we live and work in, and we're doing our best every day to make our towns a better place. Quickfill, driving America.
Talking to our friends in the Future Business Leaders of America from Erie Day School. These are rising 7th and 8th graders, but last year we had. Do we have 5th and 6th graders, Janis, or 6th and 7th?
5th, 6th, and 7th competed this year.
Wow!
But 5th through 8th is eligible.
And they went to the Nationals in San Antonio. Remember the Alamo. And before I get off track here, I wanted to hear that final comment there from Ahmad. Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to touch bases on your topic of how you say that how 7th and 8th graders from a small school are able to make an impact at nationals. Mm-hmm. And I think the idea is that when I'm going to bring up this example, all right? I used to play basketball when I was really little. And when my coach used to tell my parents about it, they didn't really tell us about how we used to miss shots or how we used to goof off. They told us how we won the championships, how we were good at scoring, the highlights of something. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what FBLA usually talks about. Whenever we tell people about FBLA, we say how we did so well at states, and we say how we did so well at nationals. And although that is true, I don't think that FBLA should be cornered by this idea of a competition. Because if FBLA was only a competition, I don't think we would be here. Mm. I think that the reason why FBLA has done so well is because everybody is like a knot. They're really together. And knots don't like to come apart. And I think that because if it was a competition, Vihan wouldn't have come up to me and helped me with my script. Or Jared's mom wouldn't have come up to me and helped me with some of my questions. So I think that the reason why we did so well, why 7th and 8th graders were able to make an impact at nationals, wasn't because it was a competition, but it was because we were together. That's why
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Again, the idea of the process being more important than the outcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot to learn here. Let's learn a couple more of the teams here, Janis. Yeah.
All right. Jared and Fiona, have we talked about community service?
We did a little.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jared. Just kind of, what was your favorite part of what you did with your project there? Again, I get it. Let's face it. You were highly recognized for this project, weren't you?
Yeah. My favorite part was probably knowing that I was doing good for the community. I think that even just the thought of service is a greater feeling than what Ahmed said, winning a championship or something like that.
Fiona, how about you? You were kind of putting a lot of this together here. How did that feel to kind of be directing something and organizing something like that?
What I really liked about it wasn't really the directing. It was knowing that what I did, like Jared said, was going to help the community, and it might be small, but it's a big impact. And it's a fact that we're going to be able to help them and maybe even make them smile, and that's just something that not everyone can do.
So there you were really excited about the outcome of but because the true outcome here was that people would be blessed, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's remarkable. I love that. Go ahead, Janis. We have one more team, right?
Yes, we do. Jared and Vihan finished 5th in the nation in digital video production. They finished 1st in the state.
Fantastic. All right. So, what was the subject matter of the video there?
So basically, our video that we created was to promote online kindness in digital spaces.
Okay. So, what was some of the key point that you wanted to get across?
So really the key point that we wanted to get across was empathy in digital spaces. It was about being kind and being positive when you can't see the person on the other screen. Because a lot of times you just send something, and then sometimes you can think about it, but you don't think about the consequences of of posting something, and you don't know who it's going to affect. You need to just realize that there are real people on the other side of the screen, real people with lives and families and hopes and also feelings. So you really need to feel, not just for yourself, put yourself in another person's shoes and really feel what you might feel if you got that comment.
When you were studying or when you were researching this concept of, again, you had to learn how to make the video, but you had to also work on the content, right? Did you dig into the idea of cyberbullying?
Yeah, so that was actually one of the most important topics that FBLA wanted us to emphasize in our video. So we spent a lot of time researching cyberbullying comments and what actually causes bullies to say the stuff like that. So we really tried to emphasize that in our video.
So this video that's been created, is this something that, can be now used to really change some minds and hearts here?
Absolutely. Would you like a copy?
Yeah, well,
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, send me a link. I'd like to see, because honestly, I feel like, many of us have been victims of cyberbullying, especially you get into a position like I'm in, as a voice on the radio and on the internet. Have you ever had to experience any of this stuff hopefully you guys are too young for that.
I'm not sure how many of them are on social media, but
Right.
I will say Future Business Leaders of America, people tend to focus on the business aspect, but so much of the learning takes place in the soft skills.
Yeah.
So I love the content. I love that we had teams searching how to be kind, and then, the counter argument to that and the impact if you're not. I love that we had teams that were searching different museums in the area to build a website to learn more about their community. Ethics has come up across the way. So it's the soft skills that you can use. I mean, communicating and working in any field is business.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing.
Jake, give me an idea in your concept of being a businessman or a leader. What does leadership mean to you? What you've been learning through FBLA here?
So personally, before I did FBLA, I thought that leadership was more like a boss position. I mean, you're taking charge of people, which some of that's true. But through FBLA, that I learned that listening to others and keeping your ideas opening and not being the boss always that's what truly being a leader is.
Yeah, some of the best leaders are seen on the floor of the shop, right? Mm-hmm. Saying hello, remembering the family name, or knowing that the one of the guys who's brand new just had a baby. That kind of absolute integration in their lives, in people's families. All right, so give me the grand total here. So we had several number ones at states and top 10s in nationals for the Erie Day School team.
Absolutely. So at nationals, we had 4 finalists. We had 3 advanced to the top 10 for 10th place, 6th place, and 5th place. At the state level, I need a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
We had a 10th place. Can I say their names?
Sure.
Meredith Lechner finished 10th in marketing strategies. Bryson Kinkoff and Leo Raftis finished 7th place in marketing strategies. And 5th place, we had a 5th grade team. Island Gitmitz, Meryl Showalter, and Michelle Smith finished in 5th. And exploring digital video production, we had a 5th place with Ari Dev Oaks and Louisa McCormick. In exploring marketing strategies, we had a 3rd place with Theophanis, who competed with the presentation exploring website design. 3rd place, we had Charlotte Darling, Lauren Rowe, and Becca Smith, who competed with the presentation in exploring management and entrepreneurship. We had 2nd place with Lila and Fiona, who competed in exploring management and entrepreneurship. We had a 2nd place win with Ahmed and Ayan in exploring website design. We had a 2nd place finisher with Leo Almeida, and he worked with his sister Paloma, who competed with a presentation in exploring digital video production. And then we had a 1st place win with Jared and Vihan, who explored with the presentation and exploring digital video production. We had a 1st place win with Jake Gennaro, who competed with a presentation and an objective test in exploring business ethics. And he's the first person, again, from Erie Day School to advance as a solo competitor to the finalist stage. And then we had chapter initiatives. 2nd place, we had Angelica Grafiotis, Lila Cotterill, and Theophanis Nikopoulos, who presented our annual chapter activities. They finished 2nd in the state. We had a 1st place win with Fiona He and Jared Kang, who competed on behalf of the chapter in highlighting our chapter community service presentation. And then our chapter won 1st place in the largest local chapter market share, with 38% of our middle school competing with the Future Business Leaders of America.
Oh wow! Congratulations, you all. I want to get a couple of voices here. Well, maybe we'll start with Jake, and we'll pass the mic around. But if you were talking to a peer from another school, right? You're a rising 8th grader now, Jake, or 7th?
I'm a rising 7th grader.
Okay. If you were going to talk to another 7th grader about everything you've learned about leadership, or your experience here with FBLA, what would you tell let's say a kid from I don't know, what's the closest grade school near you guys? St. Jude or Tracy? What would you tell a kid from there?
Honestly, I would tell them that FBLA is, again, what I said, when you think about, it's more about leadership than anything.
Yeah.
Because when you look at around their main badge icon that they have, their symbol as leadership, I think service and something else, I forget.
Yeah.
But it's mainly about service, which we have done this year. And I think that it's just a great thing to get into. And personally, growing up, I wanted to do something in business.
What are some of the things you're thinking about? It's kind of early, but.
Yeah. I'll tell them it's about discipline and just getting back on your feet, even if you fail or you need to try harder.
Maybe as a coach. Let me grab that mic. We're going to give it to I in here. Talk about leadership, in your opinion.
Leadership isn't just being a bossy position, just like Jake said. Yeah. It's guiding others through hardship and just leading others without being rude or so on.
So how would you encourage, let's say, a buddy of yours from Tracy School, or from St. Jude School near over there, about FBLA? Yeah.
I would say that FBLA is a great program. They teach all the students about leadership, teamwork, community hours. They do service and all of that. I would tell them it was a great program, and it teaches others. You can network with others across the United States or even more.
Yeah.
And that's
fantastic. All right, couple more voices here that want to weigh in. Raise your hand. Go ahead, Lila. Oh, watch your head. Yeah.
I think one thing that makes our school very special is our school motto, because I have this one vivid memory in my brain. As you can see, we have trading pins all around.
Yeah, I love those
lanyards. Yeah. And I was trading with people, and it's a great way to talk to people from all around and talk to them about where they're from. And I remember someone asking where they're from, and I said, "Oh, Erie, Pennsylvania." And she said, "What is that?" And I remember thinking, "Oh wow, it's crazy that we're all the way out here in Texas, and our small school from Erie, Pennsylvania, people don't even know who we are." Yeah. So I think talking to another school, you would say, well, it's important to get our voice out there and show that our community here might be small, but we're very mighty. And I think that that's important. And as I said earlier about the school motto, it's about expanding our mind and our heart. And that's a very fundamental that is brought into our brains from, I think, a young grade. And it's about how you should dig deeper and think about other people, not just yourself. And I think that's why we're so successful at these competitions, but also just about communicating and talking with your friends. It's about learning that it's about everyone. It's not just about yourself.
Yeah, I see that transferable skill of that this is more than just, again, the group, but it is really working their way into communicating with their parents, with their classmates and so on. Two more voices. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah.
In my words, leadership is more about, in FBLA this year, we talked a lot about servant leadership and really about how we, instead of being the boss or the person who's always on top, we are the people who are really helping lift others up, not the one who's trying to be above others. Yeah. And I think that's really true leadership, trying to help in a business, your company, in a team, your friends, all up with you, not pushing them down so that you stay on top.
Love that. One more. Go ahead, Lauren.
So when I talk to people about FBLA, I always say it's building leadership through service. And so one of the things I've learned about leaders and being a leader is helping other people, knowing their needs and experiencing the needs and being able to help these people through whatever they're going through. So leaders help others, and they serve others in their community.
Love that. Servant leadership. Well, congratulations to you all. Thank you so much, Janis, for bringing the crowd into our little space here, and I'm just always so impressed. And congratulations! You should really feel great about what you're learning and what you've accomplished, but better yet, feel great about the relationships that you're able to make and the difference you're able to make, right? I mean, I mean, you think about this. Can I preach a second? This town, this community needs you. This community needs you. As you guys found out, right? There's a lot of folks that are hurting in our town. And you have the capability, you have the critical thinking, you have the heart, you have the capacity to really make a difference. You've seen it. And so I would encourage you to continue to do it because you're already doing it. It's not like I have to tell you, go out there and do it. No, you're doing it already. But this community is going to depend on you. And so before, that great gig out of college, is hearkening to you for you to go to Palo Alto or to go to Boston or New York, think about the kind of impact in our beautiful little town and what you can do. And I think it could be great things. Again, thank you for being here. And I appreciate you guys so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to The Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast from TalkErie.com. Subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher and get involved by emailing Joel@TalkErie.com.